Hey guys, how y'all doing? I wanted to come on for a minute and say something here this morning. While we're doing some videos, we got a little break this morning, so we're gonna try to catch up on a lot of small videos, short videos, try to get some of this stuff out there. Seems that what we're learning in the Jack and Lily Sullivan case, you know, the two missing, a brother and sister, 4 and 6, vanished on May 2nd, 2025. In rural Nova Scotia. Um, it appears that the RCMP is not looking at this as criminal anymore. Y'all do know that, right? Sad, isn't it? Even the thought of thinking that they believed somehow that these kids wandered off. When they were never found in those woods. And in my opinion, I don't know if they'll ever be found. You would think with this much of an investigation, this much manpower, this much search efforts, this much investigation, there's more witnesses in this case that were interviewed than I think we've ever seen in the case, right? Over 60 people? You don't ever hear of a case with that many people in it. You know, that many people, witnesses or suspects or whatever you want to call them. Polygraph tests for a minute. So hell, Ted Bundy passed a lie detector test twice, I think. I mean, there's other people that have passed them. To me, I think it's just they got outsmarted. I hate to admit it, but the biggest problem to me in this case, lied whenever. What was it? The beginning of July, middle of July, whenever they talked to the lady that led that search group. Remember, she walked up into the woods with the news lady, and they did their little talk and asked her point blank, "Do you think these kids are in the woods?" And she says, "From what I've seen and from what I've looked at, yes." So for some reason, I don't think they were ever on the same page. I think some were looking at it as his foul play, and some weren't. All in all, it's neglectful. You allowed your kids to vanish. That's neglect. Kids don't just vanish. And if those kids would have walked off in those woods in 20 minutes that it took law enforcement to get there, and from the phone call and be there and searching, they wouldn't have made it that far. Those kids wouldn't have made it a half mile in that thick woods. No way. Little Jack couldn't even have crawled over all that deadfall. So you make it make sense. It's a very sad case. It's a very heartbreaking case, and I think once it got past that 30-day mark, that's when speculation sometimes gets worse. That's when rumors get worse. That's when when there's nothing, people's minds start going other ways. And I don't know. I think there's more to this story than meets the eye. It looks to be that they got away with this. I hate to say that, and that's my opinion, and my opinion only, but I think they got away with it. I really do. I think whatever their plan was, and their master plan here, it worked. I just don't know, as a mother, how you would live with yourself. I really don't. Or as a father. There's nobody fighting for these children. Not one of these parents is fighting for these kids. Nobody. Can you imagine? Little Jack and Lily really only have the public, and not many of them anymore. This case has faded so fast. Like, it's sad to think about their true little faces, right? All we have is pictures, right? That's all we know of these kids is pictures, okay? But just the thought that these two special needs children could vanish into thin air like that. Not one, two. It's just such a hard thing to think about, because that area is so rural and it's so big. Like, you know, we heard early on from neighbors that, of course, stepdad was seen that morning running around and leaving the house and all that between 5 something in the morning and 7 or 7:30 in the morning. And you know, I don't know how much of that is real, but I do believe that, I do think that that four-wheeler somehow played a role in this. I know, I'm on a ranch. I know four-wheelers can be very helpful for covering a lot of ground pretty quickly. The thought that after this huge investigation, huge mass search party, like you're talking hundreds of people scouring that thick, dense woods, drone footages, helicopters, airplanes. They didn't pick up one trace of these children. Not one trace of these children. Besides the items I believe were planted there. I've always said that he planted items that morning. When he broke the code and jumped that fence when those people told him to stay in his yard, and he went running off in there with a backpack and evidently didn't come back with a backpack. Sorry, that's suspicious to me. But evidently it's not enough. It's not enough for them to figure this case out. Evidently they just don't have. And you would think with that many investigators on the ground that early, that due to everything they found within that home, paraphernalia, narcotics, all that stuff they found in that home, why wasn't there at least an arrest on that? Like, I don't make sense. It really don't make sense. Like, how? I mean, like I said, I know from what we've learned, you know, Daniel and his brother both are very abusive people. And this is other people that have spoke out about it. Not just, you know, Malaya's never said anything, but I do believe that he was abusing her. I do believe that he was a controlling person. And that when all this transpired, that she was able to get away, because that was her opportunity to run from this man. Sad the way the opportunity came, but she was able to run from this man and get away. And yeah, she might go to the beach every day. She might do this and that. I've seen the interview with her mom's boyfriend or whatever, her stepdad or stepmom's, whoever that guy is. I've seen the interview with him. I've seen him talk about how, like I said, the $150,000 reward, cash. Like, he even said it. Man, I could use that $150,000 if I knew where the kids were, believe me. You know? Some people look at it as, well, he said that because he does know where they are. I don't know. I don't know who knows where these kids are. I mean, all we know is that they're not found. Who knows where they could be? They were in town the evening before. I think something happened then. I don't think those kids made it home. But that's just my opinion. I don't think they were in that trailer. The dogs would have picked up a scent trail and the dogs would have found them. I do believe that. I don't think they went out that sliding door. Nope. Nah, I don't believe it. It's just my opinion, but I don't believe it. Something sinister to me happened here. And they must have done a really, really good job of covering it up, because they still walking free. And they pretty much, they're not even investigating this criminally anymore. They've let us know that. July 16th, 2025, RCMP stated they don't believe that they're looking into add a criminal case. Which, I don't know how you would say anything other than criminal. These kids have not been found. They vanished in thin air. Just like Sebastian Rogers vanished in thin air. Just like Summer Wells vanished in thin air. These kids don't just vanish. It's not a coincidence. They don't vanish like this. But I guess if you just don't have enough, you don't have enough, right? This is when it goes to, we're getting to see a lot of this where Sebastian and Summer Wells aren't the only ones, right? There's so many more. And regardless of what law enforcement may think or can almost prove, if they can't fully prove it, it's never going to trial. I mean, plus now they're giving away pleas like hotcakes. I mean, supposedly Emmanuel Horrow's, they're trying to evidently work some kind of plea deal or something. I don't know what's going on here. I hope they don't give him no plea deal. But they did the first time. They let him walk. So that's they live with that. Whoever ended up letting him walk, they're all pointing fingers at each other, blaming the judge, blaming the BA, blaming the prosecutor. Everybody blaming everybody in that case, and that's ridiculous. Get back to the focus of little Emmanuel Horrow. And will that child ever be found? I don't know. I doubt it. It's sad. Just like, do I think Jack and Lily will be found? No. I think Daniel knows where they're at, and that's my opinion, but he won't ever talk. He's too good at lying. Why would he talk? He's not really that good at lying, but I can see through him, but some people might believe him. And always remember, just because you pass a poly doesn't mean you're innocent. I mean, y'all think Ted Bundy's innocent? I mean, come on. I don't know. Prayers for little Jack and Lily to be found. Prayers for the truth to come out. Prayers for justice. All that in this case is a heartbreaking case. We are taking a second look at some of the stuff we received in Jack and Lily case over the last month, because we haven't been able to catch up, and we're going to go through some of that today and see what we can figure out, guys. And we're gonna kind of refresh all these cases here, and we're gonna focus on that over the next few days. We've been really swamped, busy, and I had to go back to work, and I noticed y'all noticed that I haven't been able to do as much, but we've also been interviewing a lot of people, speaking with a lot of people that didn't want to be on camera, and we've been doing a lot of searching in Hendersonville, a lot. And I think that when we keep it private, we don't run into these problems. So it is proven for us to be better. That if we just kind of go do our thing and get out, like, we don't have to deal with a lot of people. Because there's really not very many people looking for Sebastian right now. Very few. We're one of the only ones. But hopefully that'll pick up. Hopefully it picks up in all these cases. Hopefully there's a second wind in all of these cases. Jack and Lily too. I hope there's a second wind in this case. I hope they're going to try something, or they're trying something new. But there's just been not much of nothing except for a bunch of rumors, and it's hard. It hurts the case. I don't know. We'll see, guys. Prayers for these little angels. I hope to God they find these babies one day and get the truth. If anything, the mom and dad, or the mom and stepdad, they should at least be charged for neglect, something. CPS, from what I understand, might still have Meadow. I don't know if that's true. I knew that they had ended up taking her away, but I didn't know why. I didn't know. That's when I thought maybe arrests were going to come once they took the child, but then they didn't. So I don't know. Hopefully they got something going on behind closed doors that we just don't know about. And maybe we're going to get some truth for little Jack and little Sullivan. Until then, guys, just keep them in our prayers and thoughts, right? We have to. Precious little angels. It's beautiful little kids, and just to be gone like that, it's just weird. But anyway, guys, y'all be good. Trigger warning as always. Allegedly, these are my opinions, thoughts. Y'all know that. Take it as a grain of salt. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Remember that. Trigger one as always. Y'all's comments, y'all's alone. Not to reflect the channel. We do our research together because we are a big heart, little family. Alright, guys. Have a blessed one. Remember, talk soon. Be safe. Trigger one. Alright, guys. Bye.